Sumitomo Real Estate's expansion into India. A massive shift to emerging markets. This article reports on the news that Sumitomo Real Estate Development will begin a major redevelopment project in Mumbai, India. With a total project cost of 500 billion yen. The plan is to acquire approximately 80,000 square meters of former factory land and construct rental office buildings, hotels, commercial facilities, etc. As a result, Sumitomo Real Estate Holdings' total office floor space in India will be 1.26 million square meters, making it the largest office space for a Japanese company. The article also points out that other Japanese real estate giants, Mitsubishi Estate and Mitsui Fudosan, are also increasing their investments in India. These companies have been focusing on office development in the United States and Europe. But as the market is slowing due to factors such as the spread of telework and population decline, they are shifting to development in emerging countries. Sumitomo Real Estate Development is planning to construct multiple buildings in the new Worli area of central Mumbai, aiming for completion in the early 1930s. This project is expected to bring the company's total investment in India to 700 billion yen, 1.4 times the previous plan. From the above, it can be seen that Sumitomo Real Estate is aiming to grow its rental office business in India to a scale of 60 billion yen, based on rental profits equivalent to operating profits before depreciation in the 1930s. This shows that development by Japanese real estate giants has accelerated in emerging countries with rapid economic growth. Uniqlo raises wages in China strategy to secure human resources and improve brand. This article reports on the news that fast retailing will raise the salaries of store sales staff at Uniqlo, a clothing store in China, by up to 40%. This increase will begin in October and will apply to full-time and part-time employees. The average annual salary increase is 28%, with potential annual salary increases of up to 44%. This wage increase aims to increase employees' motivation to work and encourage the recruitment of talented people. Wage increases are also said to contribute to improving a company's brand. In China, the unemployment rate among young people has reached an all-time high, and the job market is becoming increasingly difficult. In this context, Uniqlo aims to secure excellent human resources, who will be on the front lines of customer service, and support its future store opening strategy. Fast retailing has already raised annual salaries of its employees by up to 40% in Japan since March, and also raised wages in China, its main overseas market, in 2022. These initiatives are part of our global expansion. A new pillar for Japanese stocks. Foreign investors' interest in return to production. This article reports on the topic of increasing attention to onshoring, returning to Japan in a stock market shaken by geopolitical risks. It is estimated that domestic capital investment will increase by 40% by 2030. Due to the combination of new factory construction in semiconductor and other manufacturing industries and labor shortages. This shows that there is a movement to look for a wide range of stocks as a long-term theme next to ending deflation. The article states that Taikisha is expected to grow due to the trend of manufacturing returning to Japan, and the reason for this is that the company is involved in air conditioning equipment for factories and office buildings, and that the semiconductor and pharmaceutical industries are investing in factories in Japan. The company cited the success of its strategy of prioritizing orders for factory air conditioning, which is more profitable than building air conditioning. The article also points out that foreigners' desire to invest in Japanese stocks over the medium term remains undiminished, and states that there are even cases of hiring Japanese experts, especially among asset owners such as pension funds. This indicates that reshoring may become a pillar of the next buying wave. Revitalizing the beer market, tax reduction and new product strategy. This article is about the topic of how 4 major beer manufacturers are trying to reinvigorate the beer market by introducing new products in response to the liquor tax reform, which has reduced the tax on beer by 6 yen per can. I am reporting. Asahi Beer has announced a new product, Dry Crystal, with an alcohol content of 3.5% and bearing the Super Dry brand. Kirin Brewery plans to release a year-round product, Japan Ale Kaori, from its focus craft beer brand Spring Valley. Suntory has released a limited quantity of dark beer from its flagship beer, Perfect Suntory Beer PSB, which has 0 carbohydrates. Sapporo Beer has released a functional beer, Sapporo Draft Beer Nanamaru, which has 70% less sugar and purines than conventional products. These moves are a test of whether the beer market as a whole is in decline, and whether it can resurface with the tailwind of tax cuts. In addition, as consumer tastes diversify, companies are recognizing that the days when existing brands were strong are coming to an end, and are expanding consumers' range of choices through products such as low-alcohol, craft, and functional brands, and are expanding the range of beers that are saturated with beer. We are exploring new conversation points in the market. Strategies for attracting immigrants in a city of 1 million people. Yokohama and Kyoto take on the challenge of population decline. This article reports on the topic that large cities, with a population of more than 1 million people, are starting to get serious about attracting immigrants. The population of 5 of the country's 11 cities has decreased compared to the previous year, and the wave of population decline is beginning to reach rural areas first. In response to this, Yokohama City has opened a migration website, and Kyoto City has also launched countermeasures through public-private collaboration. Kyoto City has the largest decrease in the number of Japanese people, and as a countermeasure to the population decline it faces, it has started the Immigration and Settlement Support Team. This is an organization in which companies and others participate, and it supports up to 200,000 yen in business expenses for initiatives that are expected to be effective in promoting migration and settlement. Meanwhile, Yokohama City has put effort into appealing to families with children, and has set up a migration website. Since 2013, Kobe City has been expanding its subsidy system for families with children and young couples moving to the city. These efforts are being carried out at a time when each region is focusing on attracting immigrants from rural areas, and the Tokyo metropolitan area is facing the challenge of population decline. Large cities are also joining the battle to attract immigrants, and competition is becoming more intense. Each local government needs to improve its measures by drawing on its wisdom. Increasing steel transportation costs. Tokyo Steel plans to raise freight rates. This article reports on the news that Tokyo Steel has reached an agreement with transport companies to increase the freight rates for transporting steel materials by truck starting in November. This is a measure to address the 2024 problem, where there is concern about a shortage of truck drivers due to stricter overtime regulations. In order to maintain the logistics network, we will be responsible for the increased cost of the carrier due to securing drivers, etc. The amount of this increase in freight rates has not been disclosed, but Tokyo Steel has stated that it will be quite significant. If this movement spreads to other steel manufacturers, it may lead to a move to pass on the increase in transportation costs to steel prices. Additionally, Tokyo Steel announced that the steel prices for the November contract were the same for all types as the October contract. This is the 4th consecutive month that prices for all products remain unchanged. However, demand recovery is reported to be slow. Countermeasures against electricity crisis. Demand-side actions are the key. This article discusses the electricity crisis in Japan and its countermeasures. In particular, it emphasizes the importance of demand-side behavior. The article mentions the power supply and demand tight warnings and advisories that will occur in the Tokyo area in 2022. These were caused by sudden cold waves and intense heat that hit many power plants during non-peak periods, when they were undergoing maintenance and inspections, and countermeasures, such as building new thermal power plants and restarting nuclear power plants, were implemented. Even if they do, they point out that little effect can be expected. Instead, it states that proactive action on the demand side is important. Specifically, we propose using a method called demand response. This initiative allows industry and individuals to cooperate in saving electricity in response to calls from the government to save tens of millions of kilowatt-hours of electricity. Insulation can also be considered an extension of demand response, simply improving the insulation performance of homes, commercial facilities, and offices can significantly reduce power consumption during peak periods in summer and winter, and can contribute to alleviating power supply shortages during peak periods. Such countermeasures should be carried out appropriately using scientific methodologies, and the current situation is that attention is focused only on old-fashioned, heavy-handed methods, whose feasibility is unclear, such as building and restarting large-scale power plants. Points out that this is a problem.